corridors of sleep, past shadows dark and deep. My mind dances and leaps in confusion. I don't know what is real, I can't touch what I feel, and I hide behind the shield of my illusion. So I'll continue to pretend my life will never end, and flowers never bend with the rainfall. No matter if you're born to play the king or pawn, for the line is thinly drawn between joy and sorrow. So my fantasy becomes reality, and I must be what I must be and face tomorrow. So I'll continue to pretend my life will never end, and flowers never bend with the rainfall.
Okay. What's everybody doing tonight? Nothing? Okay. What are we gonna do tonight? I do not know. Be interesting, I guess. Okay. Shit. Alright, see what I missed out on YouTube. Entertainment. Hold on. Okie doke. All right. Today I learned from Evan Glare. What would you learn today? Let's see. Okay, yeah, we could watch The Critic. That would be funny. A great show. I don't know how that channel is streaming that, but that's it. They've been doing it for about 2 days now. Pretty interesting. Let's see. Oh, I guess we could see if my paleo is still fucked up beyond all belief, which I'm pretty sure it is. Okay. What did I miss today? Anything? Oh, wait, what is that? Let's see, where is my watch later? I know I threw some shit on there. Oh, here we go. Top 10 idiot musicians. This should be fun. Shit.
Dev calls out IGN on Baldur's Gate 3 review and gives similar take on early access games. Okay, here we go.
Hold on, I did not click that. That is not a thing I clicked.
You know, get a little groove like that.
For this list, we'll be ranking 10 musicians who are well known as being idiots. For the purpose of this list,
I'm gonna make my predictions. We'll have a Kanye, Jay-Z, Kid Rock. Shit. Who is that other guy? Fuck. Kanye, Kid Rock. Fuck, who is that other guy? Ted Nugent, I think.
We won't be including musicians who have committed legitimately terrible crimes like abuse or assault. Rather, these are the musicians who have not done anything inherently evil, but who are simply well known for their toxic personalities.
Gotcha.
Number 10, Fred Durst.
Okay.
Limp Bizkit doesn't have the greatest of legacies, and neither does its frontman, Fred Durst.
Interesting.
Durst has done a few questionable things over the years, like calling Vladimir Putin a great guy with clear moral principles and referring to Slipknot fans as fat, ugly kids.
Catchy song. Came out in like 6th grade
people called out
for me.
Durst's juvenile personality and found his fake tough guy persona as being annoying, while others have blamed Durst and Limp Bizkit for encouraging crowd violence.
That's pretty funny, though.
While he hasn't been much of a target lately due to his irrelevancy, he was nonetheless quite the controversial figure in the 2000s. Number 9, Liam Gallagher. Liam Gallagher
I don't know who that is.
One of the most volatile personalities in all of music. Liam seems to hate his brother Noel with every fiber of his being. They came to blows in 2009 after Liam allegedly swung a guitar at Noel's
I have no idea who that is.
That effectively disbanded Oasis.
Oh, okay.
Reason, he went to his own dressing
Oasis,
room
gotcha.
And he came back with a guitar and started wielding it.
No
like
more Wonderwall.
Kidding.
And he doesn't just target Noel either. Liam has been infamous for his abrasive personality for many years, and in the past has allegedly headbutted a backpacker, abused passengers on an airplane, and set off a fire extinguisher in football player Paul Gascoigne's face, among many, many other instances. Number 8, Kid Rock.
There you go.
With a name like Kid Rock, you can just tell that this guy is a character. This musician is a veritable smorgasbord of controversies, and there are so many that we don't even know where to begin.
I only know the
there
one
was
song.
The time that he assaulted a DJ
The
inside
Ball
of
with
a
the
strip
Ball.
club, or the time he posed with a dead cougar while out hunting with Ted Nugent, or what about his past history of displaying Confederate flags? Spouting
you probably
remarks.
don't. Yeah, you probably don't want to do that.
Even continues in 2023, as Kid Rock helped instigate the Bud Light boycott after they partnered with transgender actress Dylan Mulvaney. He calls himself an American badass. We don't know about the bad part.
We had one guy who said, "I refuse to drink that anymore." One guy. And everybody else in the bar kind of rolled their eyes at him.
Number 7.
That's funny.
Robin Thicke. At the height of his Blurred Lines fame, Robin Thicke was divorced from his partner of 21 years, with many people citing rumors of cheating. Thicke was later investigated by the Department of Child and Family Services for abuse towards minors. He was also accused of plagiarizing Marvin Gaye, but vehemently denied the accusations. However, the court didn't see his point of view, and Thicke was found liable for copyright infringement. While he appealed the decision, the verdict was upheld in March 2018, and Thicke was
I did not know that, actually.
Blurred Lines royalties to the Gaye family. Number 6, Azalea Banks. Banks is well known for her rather troublesome personality, more so than her music, and she even has been involved in numerous altercations and disputes throughout the years. What you got to when I ain't there? She is very
I'm not familiar with her.
And certainly isn't afraid to speak her mind. Offline, Azalea allegedly punched and spat in a man's face on an airplane, uttered homophobic slurs at flight staff, and made disturbing comments towards
Seems to be like the baseline for quite a bit of these.
Of racist and homophobic tweets aimed at Zayn Malik that resulted in her being blocked from Twitter. Number 5, Gene Simmons. Gene Simmons is one of those rock stars who ruins it for everyone else. Simmons has made countless controversial remarks in the past that have perfectly exemplified this.
20 shows this summer. Touring makes sense.
That's why it's good to be me.
In February 2002, he told NPR's Terry Gross, "If you want to welcome me with open arms, you're also going to have to welcome me with open legs." And later refused NPR's permission to publish the interview. He has also called Islam a vile culture, was sued by his former girlfriend for calling her an unchaste woman, has faced sexual battery
What is up with
charges,
their ADR lately?
Friendly advice to those with depression and mental health issues. Number 4,
Yeah, I got that.
Morrissey.
Why can't the large complexity when the leather runs smooth on the passenger seat?
Despite Morrissey living a very private and personal life, he made headlines on numerous occasions for his rather outspoken and belligerent political beliefs. Academic Julian Stringer has stated that Morrissey is a nice man who says the nastiest things about other people, such as when he made racist and derogatory comments about Chinese people. He has also been in trouble for stating
Maybe don't
that
do
the
that.
fast food industry is worse than terrorism, and made even more alarming comments likening eating meat with predatory behavior towards minors.
Animals are like children. They look to us for protection, and we should protect them.
Number 3, Ted Nugent.
Hey, I called that one too.
Ted is constantly finding himself in trouble for the way in which he discusses his controversial political beliefs.
He's an idiot. He's a fucking idiot.
In the past, he stated that Jews are responsible for gun control, made racist comments about South Africa, and that gun control advocates are mushy-brained children.
I'm not going to judge another's morals. You judge people all the time.
He also finds humor in animal rights and has stated his belief that animal rights activists should be shot with arrows. If that wasn't all, he's blatantly homophobic and has directed tons of hate towards politicians he disagrees with.
He's a stand-up guy, clearly. Fucking idiot.
Number 2,
Communist.
Axl Rose. It's doubtful that
Dude,
anyone
Axl,
in the music industry has a worse reputation than
Axl went down here really quickly. I heard he's like lost some weight and stuff, but fuck, like in the mid-teens, I looked him up. I didn't recognize him. It's crazy.
Axl Rose. Rose is infamous for his decades worth of childish temper tantrums both on stage and off, which are well documented and easy to find.
1 minute, guys. Who said 1 minute? We go on when we go on. No one tells Axl Rose when he goes on. He goes on when he feels like it.
He has also been the subject of numerous lawsuits and is allegedly very hard to get along with, leading to the departure of many Guns N' Roses members.
Yup. Slash.
Whether he's storming off stage like a whiny child, jumping into the crowd to literally fight audience members, or calling Slash a cancer, Axl Rose is always making enemies and furthering his reputation for being a huge jerk. Before we continue,
dude, he fell off real hard, real quick. Could say that to me too, and I wouldn't say I didn't.
Occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Kanye West.
Hey, there it is.
It's an understatement to say that Kanye West has been causing controversy from day one. At first, he irritated people with his egotistical, holier-than-thou attitude. Then he rubbed other celebrities the wrong way by interrupting
Didn't he? Yeah, he's the one that went up. Yeah. God, I saw that live. That was so fucking cringy. Holy shit. That was something.
Out of buildings like a petulant child.
I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish.
However, all of that pales in comparison to his racist behavior. Like when he insinuated that slavery was a choice during a TMZ interview. If that wasn't enough, in 2022, he launched into an anti-Semitic tirade that included an Instagram post stating his intentions to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. He quickly lost brand and management deals with Adidas, Balenciaga.
Dude, like, oh my god, when that shit was going on, it was like fucking Charlie Sheen whenever he was melting down, saying that he had like cougar blood and shit like that, and was high on cocaine like all the time. He was winning. That was his thing. I'm winning.
Gap and more, and basically sent his reputation and career directly into the gutter. Did you enjoy this video?
Yeah.
Check out these other clips from Watch Mojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.
Like the anti-Charlie Sheen. Okay, X-Valve dev on Baldur's Gate 3. This one's kind of a long one, but we'll watch it.
X-Valve dev calls out IGN on Baldur's Gate 3 review and gives similar take on early access games. Okay, here we go.
Let's see what we got.
So Baldur's Gate 3, IGN and early access. Let's talk about this, because I think IGN is having a negative impact on the game industry.
Okay.
And I've talked to them a few times about this, and I just posted some big thing on it.
All right.
And so I think it's worth a little discussion, right?
Sure.
So
on TikTok.
Right now, there's one of the editorial pieces on IGN is claiming that Baldur's Gate 3 was perfection. The first time it touched the public's hands, there were no bugs. It was the greatest thing ever. And why can't all other
Did they say that?
Oh, you idiots.
I don't think they said that. I'm like fairly sure I know what he's talking about. What IGN put out. I'm pretty sure too that he never said that it had no bugs or anything. So.
IGN actually gave Baldur's Gate 3 a 7 of 10. That was an early access review 3 years ago. Right, that video, if you watch it, has ignored that there's 3 years of early access feedback. Now, 7 of 10 review, not that great.
What? No.
I feel like a 7 out of 10 is pretty good.
Yeah, that's fine.
I was a 7 out of 10. That would be an improvement.
Yeah, me too.
Baldur's Gate 3 and the studio made it happens to have a large community around it that wants the game, and they have money. So they got those early sales because the community wants it, and they gave them feedback. And that's what early access is about.
Right.
Early access is about developers going out, putting something in players' hands, and getting that raw feedback.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
We want to hear, this is
the definition of that, yeah.
This, you should add this.
Yeah.
In my own game, in early access, it became clear we needed to have versus mode. We needed to have versus mode before the 1.0 release, and that's great. But we also got bad reviews because we didn't have it, right? But so IGN actually reviewed our game. They gave it a 5 of 10. Was it rough when it first came out? I've spoke honestly about that. Yeah, we were in a rough spot.
I don't know where he's going with this.
Game. And they treat early access titles lesser, so they don't, let's say, have 4 players play your 4-player co-op game. They also don't revisit it, where a big title like Baldur's Gate 3...
This is a problem with early access games. It's the bridge builder and dick sucker thing. It's
what? Hold on. What?
People have already made their decision about it. So, like, if the impression is bad...
Yeah.
If you have like one bad impression, that is going to color everybody's perspective for a long period of time.
Sure.
So what game is he talking about? I think he's talking about basically how early access games don't get taken as seriously, and the places like IGN don't contextualize games that have no bugs as being a product of early access.
They shouldn't. I don't think they should review early access games at all. The fact that they even review them, I think, is bad.
Entirely agree with him on that being a problem, because, like, for example, PUBG was in early access for over a year, and it got forced out of early access, it seemed to me, like for the holiday season, like one Christmas, and it was still bad. So the problem is that, like,
I've never played PUBG.
This is the biggest issue with early access, is that for some developers, early access is collaboration with the community on developing a product and
as it should be
more in line with what the community wants. But for other developers, early access is an early paycheck. And that's, I think, the biggest concern. It's that for some people, they try to get early access and they try to, get it out there so they can make money. And also, like, that's
because they don't want to do, like, crowdfunding or whatever.
For example, if you're a small studio, you don't have a lot of money, you have to get it out there and have people believe in it. That's why you have Kickstarters. That's why you have, these other GoFundMes and stuff like this. I don't know if people use video game GoFundMes, but, like, things that are like Kickstarter. I think Kickstarter is the main one. And Patreon. I think Patreon's another big one. That all of these things are intended to help.
So what is this guy's point, though?
With collaboration from the community, right? But the issue is that whenever you do that, and then the effort doesn't really seem like it's there, development is taking too long. Like you're in a Kira video about, hey, this video game was going to be made 7 years ago, and now the owner just
Star Citizen
on LinkedIn that he bought a new yacht. This is going to be a problem. But the truth is that, like, early
Star
access,
Citizen's never coming out. It's not coming out.
The release of the game. And I don't think this is a good
not
thing,
happening.
But I think it's true. Like, for example, with Wayfinder, the moment the game comes out into the public, it needs to either be perfect or it's bad. And also, the other big problem is that people don't like changing their minds. Just in general,
that's true.
Nobody likes to change their mind.
You get called a flip-flop.
People rather double down on something that's not true than adjust their perspective based off of new evidence. That's just how it is. And obviously, I'm talking in generalities, right? So, of course, there are people that are not this, but there are a huge...
Not really. It's pretty much anything. And then, like, you get ridiculed for changing your mind. Like, oh, you're wishy-washy, you're a flip-flop, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, I just changed my mind because I got presented new evidence. People don't like that at all. They do not like that shit at all.
Contingent of people who are. And on the internet, yes, especially on the internet. So the problem with early access is that early access oftentimes puts a product out there that is not ready to be consumed by the public in a critical state, right? In terms of, like, is this a good game? Well, it's not, and the developers agree with you. That's why it's not released yet, right? But the problem is that people don't see that nuance. And I think the issue is that people don't see the nuance behind what is buying an early access game. Buying an early
They
access
shouldn't be reviewing that, though.
Buying,
it's so weird.
I think also, like,
I don't know why they would.
Like, you're buying the game, but the other half of it is buying into the vision of the development team. So, and everybody goes into early access with that information available to them. Because, like, for example, if you buy it on Steam, it says there's like 5 warnings, like early access, the game might not be finished, there might be problems with it.
Nobody reads that shit.
Are you double sure?
Nobody reads that
Do you
shit.
Want to confirm
it doesn't
your
matter.
Details?
Nobody
and
reads
then
it.
You buy it, right? So the issue with early access, again, is that people they click through all of that stuff, and then they turn on the game,
and they shit on it.
It's problematic in one way or another.
They shit on it. They don't read it, they shit on it, they think early access is like a full release of the game, and then it spreads through the community, and then either people like it or they don't, and that's it. It's done.
Then they get mad about it.
It's fucking over.
That's it. You buy early access, you're buying something that's not complete. Yes, if you buy early access, you are buying something that's not complete.
But they don't know that. Most people don't. They'll be like, oh, new game. Like, I want to play it. Looks fun. And it's like not finished. Not even like nearly finished. And people bitch about it.
And yes,
just is how it is.
Biggest thing is, and also, so like that compounds the problem that, like, usually a game is in early access and it gets better over time, generally.
Yeah.
But the issue is that people's first impression of the game is what matters more than anything.
That's why regular people have NDAs that you have to sign to not talk about the game outside of like, fuck, even like closed beta and shit like that.
Revisit. They'll revisit. I think like 3 or 4 times they've updated that review, right? And getting better each time. Good job, Larian. You guys are doing exactly what early access is about. You're putting it in players' hands.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
That is what every developer wants to do.
Yes.
But the problem is, we have IGN saying, hey, if you're charging money for this, we're going to give you as harsh as we can be. We're going to teach you a lesson.
Yeah, and I think that's a very, it's very detrimental for everybody. I think he actually is making a very good point here. Because, yes, you are totally fucking right.
Well, I don't know why you would review a game like that, though. That doesn't make sense to me. Why would you review a game in early access? I mean, you could talk about it, but like to give it a full-blown review, like any other game, would be weird. So I don't know.
You should criticize the game as harshly as possible, because that's helpful to the game. But I think that criticism needs to be contextualized around the idea that it is an early access. Doesn't early access mean it's an unfinished game? It fundamentally means that it's an unfinished game. That's like saying, is an unfinished game unfinished? Yes. And you buy it knowing that. It's like if you buy something that's refurbished.
You buy it in the hopes that you're going to steer the game in a direction that you want to see the game go in, right? I think it's really, like, irresponsible for big companies to review stuff, like, give it a numerical review. I fucking hate numerical reviews anyway, so fuck that. I think it's stupid to dumb down a subjective medium to one objective number. It's the dumbest shit I've ever heard, but I don't know. People like it. It's easier to understand.
Refurbished or something that's used, it's not new. So you can't buy something that's refurbished or used and be like, man, this doesn't have that new car smell, huh?
He's right.
I knew it was a fucking scam. Yeah, these car salesmen, they all do the same thing, huh? They try to sell you a car and it doesn't have the new car smell. Look at that.
He's right.
And he's buying a used 2010 Toyota. Can you believe that?
So what it's done is actually
my
hurt
cat
a lot
is
of
going
developers
absolutely insane
to get that feedback because they don't want to get that early negative review because they feel like, oh,
because then again, the reason why getting the early
that's his background music. I was like, who the fuck is like singing?
Negative review is bad is because as
That's
soon
weird.
as the review
like
comes
that.
out, well then the
Okay, I thought this was something different, but that's fine. I also can't, like, I love background music, but if there's somebody singing in the background music, I cannot focus on anything but that. So I can't do that. What else do we have here? Orion, what are you doing? My cat is going absolutely batshit insane. He is like running from one side of the house to the other in like less than 2 seconds. I don't know why. I have my own theories that cats do that because they're preventing like rips in the fabric of space-time from people like trying to come back from the future, and they know that, and they have to go to where they're going to come back so they don't come back and like disrupt anything. It's my theory, because if something's in the place that they're coming back, then they can't come back. Shut up, it makes sense in my mind. Let's see, what else did I have? Death of a Game, Halo Infinite. You know what I can do is I'm gonna try, we got Real Mist, and let's see what that's about. Yeah, let me try that. I'm very curious. I never played Myst. This is supposed to be like a remake, fully 3D. It's very loud. Okay. That's very loud. Hold on. Oh, the aspect ratio. Fuck that up. Okay, that's right. That's why that's like that. Gotcha. I have no idea what this is. Oh, I see. It's like in 720p or some shit instead of 1080. I'll have to fix that. That's why it fucked up all my monitors and stuff. Free roam. Blast and all that. Whoa. What the fuck is happening? Yeah, let's do that. Okay. This should be interesting. It's at 1280, 1070. The fuck? Oh, I can move. Oh, okay. Let's see. Yeah, that changed it. Cool. Okay, I've never played Myst. I don't know anything about the game. I was too young whenever it came out. I know it's an adventure game, and that's about it. So, we're gonna see what we have here. Explore, that's classic. Okay, so that's interesting. Put that up, apply. Why? That is like actually really laggy. That's weird to me. Can I not do vertical sync? Oh, they're gonna force me at 144 hertz. Okay. Weird. I guess it's fine. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Oh, when I'm moving, I don't have to hold down right click. Okay, but when I stop... Okay, that's interesting. Ooh, that's weird, though. That's very odd. I don't like motion blur. And I guess we can put VSync on. I fucking hate motion blur in games. It's not my favorite. Yeah, that's better. Okay. F is for flashlight. All right. Okay, this is actually... Settings are odd. I guess the look speed should be all the way up. Interactive guides. Yeah, apparently they have, like... Yeah, guides or something to help you, because the game is supposed to be, like, ridiculously difficult. Like, pretty esoteric. Which is fine. We were talking about adventure games not too long ago, the other night. Like, fuck yeah, I'll play an adventure game. I think I would enjoy this type of game now rather than when I was younger. Okay. So... Interesting. What, Orion? What are you doing? Ooh, okay, we got stars up there. Okay. Okay. Interesting. What? He's like lightly tapping me. Okay. These are weird. Hold on. 2003 at... Okay. Clearly something's up with that. Like a Starfinder, Star Chart thing. I'm assuming there's gonna be some constellation and we're gonna have to figure that out. Okay, that's fine. It's not a big deal. Interesting though. It's like 3D. Okay. Like a personal planetarium. Is that the AOL like sign on or sign off thing? AIM, AOL Instant Messenger? Anybody? Just me? Okay. That... Sure. Not great. I don't... What is that? No clue. Okay, I'll call this Age channel. It's a very different world, though it's exactly how I imagined it. It is still amazing to see with my own eyes. Water covers this age as far as I can see, except a small rocky island. Elsewhere, there are only trees, which go directly out of the water. A myriad of thin wooden passageways are built just above the water and disappear into the forest. I assume they were built some time ago, for they appear aged. I'm eager to discover more about this land and its people. I've arrived here late, and I must rest. I was awakened this morning by strange noises, Coming from the pathway adjacent to the one in which I had slept, I saw a group of monkey-like people heading in my direction. They had not seen me yet. I did not feel threatened by their presence. Their response to me was one that I would have never expected. After staring at me for a short time, they fell to their knees and began what appeared to be some sort of ceremonial worship. I tried to speak to them, but they did not understand my language. Instead, they indicated through enthusiastic hand motions that I was to follow them. As we walked, I began to notice that the waters below us were changing colors. Slowly, subtly, they would change from deep blue to muddy orange, and then from muddy orange to beautifully clear. I was intrigued by the water. I hardly noticed that we had arrived at a ladder. Climbing the ladder led us to the village, which is about 10 meters above the water and can only be reached by rope ladders that stretch from the lower paths of the village level approximately halfway up to the grand trees. It's very interesting watching these people carry out their daily tasks. Even after watching them for hours, I did not understand exactly what they were doing. At sunset, they motioned for me to follow them. I followed the creatures to the doorway of the enormous hut. Strangely, once inside, I found that the hut appeared even larger than it had from the outside. Found that the hut appeared even... Oh. Let's see. The hut inside appeared larger than it had from the outside. Gotcha. The walls were garnished with bright metals. In the center of the hut sat the leader of these people. At least he appeared to be their leader, for he sat a meter off the floor in a thick throne. Guards surround the strong creature who was dressed in many exotic, colorful fabrics. Next to the leader sat a very old human, at least to some extent. He appears human. His hair, which was only on his face and head, was completely gray, almost white, hung long around his frail body. His thin head hung limply by an almost grotesque neck that could not hold its head up to look at me, but what a surprise, the creature could speak my language. Shortly thereafter, I was given a bed with some hand motions that looked to be telling me where to go to sleep. I looked forward to learning more. As I suspected, the ancient creature is a human, but he's old beyond his own reckoning, and he seems insane. However, the tree dwellers almost revere him as a god. They are treating me now in the same fashion, which makes me feel very uncomfortable. It's almost impossible to understand this old man. His voice is feeble but wild. He has adopted much of the language of the tree dwellers. He himself told me that he had not spoken our tongue in ages. He attempted to explain to me the history of this place. Following is my best translation of what he told me. Many years ago, the humans and tree dwellers lived together in this place, which was then a vast island. They interacted very little. The humans dwelt on the ground, and the tree dwellers lived high above the humans. Occasionally, the island was disturbed by mysterious rumblings, which happened randomly, some sort of tectonic or volcanic action, I suspect. The sometimes light, sometimes heavy tremors would only last a short time, then they would stop, allowing everything to return to normal. One day, things changed. The rumbling began and grew quickly to unprecedented levels. Soon it became apparent that the entire island was sinking slowly into the ocean around them. Many of the humans died that day, but not before sacrificing themselves in order to stop the sinking of the island. The humans who lived through this catastrophe moved into the trees where they gradually died out, maybe because they were unequipped for such an environment, but I am not sure. This is the story the old man communicated to me. Although many details are very unclear in my mind, I'm especially confused as to how the humans saved the island from completely sinking. In fact, I doubt the accuracy of that part of the story. The island must have stopped on its own, yet the old man believes the truth of the story as if he had been there, and the tree dwellers worship him, and apparently all humans, as if they were heroes or gods. The old man ended our conversation today with an event that I will never forget. He began gripping my hand tightly, murmuring something about rest and asleep, and then he said, "We had expected you to come sooner." These actions filled me with a sort of immediate dread. With much effort, he stood to his feet. I tried to help him, but he pushed me away with more force than I imagined his frail body contained. The tree dwellers quietly surrounded him with very solemn faces. They then kneeled before him. He walked to each and placed his hand on their heads. All the while he murmured words which I didn't understand. Finally, he turned to me and smiled. Then he closed his eyes and walked out the door and off the narrow path high in the trees. The tree dwellers were silent. They began a procession down to the nearest rope ladder. As I was descending, I saw several of them pick up the body. He had fallen onto a lower level of the walkway and carried away. He was laying down at the dead end of a short pier-like structure. With the use of some potion, one of the tree creatures lit the pier on fire, and I watched as the flames engulfed him. As his strange funeral proceeded, the waters around the pier changed to dull green. This morning I awoke, finding it hard to believe the previous evening's events. The water was a dull green. The water is a dull green for as far as I can see now. For some reason, the water no longer shifts color. As I wander throughout the pathways, the creatures watch me, curious to see what I will do next. They are constantly offering me strange objects of affection. I even found food outside the doorway to the room in which I had slept. This is a unique race of beings. I hope to learn their language soon so that I may learn more from them. I have lived on this world for 3 months on and off, and the tree dwellers have shown great hospitality. I'm even beginning to learn bits of their language. I have decided to return home for an extended stay with my loving wife and sons, and hopefully return with them. However, I'm sure Catherine will once again refuse. I think this age would be a wonderful experience for them all, and I at least look forward to how Cirrus and Akinar will react to the curious inhabitants. Next up, Catherine is staying behind as expected. My sons have returned with me, and they enjoy this age very much. They get along very well with the tree dwellers and are picking up their language surprisingly fast. I have no doubt that it will not be too long until they could speak with the tree dwellers much better than myself. I am leaving tomorrow to check on Osmoian age. Don't know what these ages are. Cirrus has suggested I allow him and his brother to stay with me, though that idea unsettles me. I know the boys are growing up rapidly. The hospitality of these creatures is such that I could think of no better place to leave them alone for a short while, so I will consent to their request. I warn the boys not to take advantage of the respect of the tree dwellers, it's hard to say, have for their ideas. They seem to understand my warning, and I have faith that they will follow it. Much to my dismay, upon arriving in Everdunes, I learned that Pran and her people are continuing to be menaced by the Choctic? Don't know what that is. I fear for their survival and plan on returning shortly after checking on Cirrus and Akinar here. See Everdune's journal for more information. After watching Cirrus and Akinar, I see that they are handling things very well, and I think I can put to rest any fears about them about leaving them in Channelwood again. And for a little longer time. The tree dwellers seem slightly distressed that I'm leaving, but are happy Cirrus and Akinar are staying behind again. I've been gone for over 3 days and have been to many different places. I had to tell Cirrus and Akinar about Pran's death today, and they were visibly shaken, although they only remembered her from their childhood. Catherine has suggested that it would be wise for Cirrus and Akinar to leave Channelwood for a while, and I have to agree. They will be returning with me when I leave again. I've told my sons that they will be returning with me in 2 days. They spent the entire night telling me of an adventure they experienced in my absence, and it was rather remarkable. It seems like they constructed a boat with the creatures and traveled some ways out into the surrounding waters. I enjoy hearing them talk excitedly of their adventures and reminded of my own adventures as a child. I finally understand why the tree dwellers have been giving me their many inks, insisting that I write with them. Looking through some of my past entries, I see now that the inks have changed from the black I thought they were to various different colors. I have shown some of the creatures my journal, and they laughed and howled. I did not know they had such a sense of humor. Even now, as I look through this very colorful journal, I cannot help but laugh myself. Okay. We will be returning tomorrow, so my sons are with the creatures for the last night here. They have told me they would like to come to Channelwood again, and also if they can visit some other ages alone. Though I will have to think over their request, I believe they have proven to me that they are trustworthy and responsible. Catherine will also have to help me decide whether they are ready for travel alone. For now, I must give my farewells to the creatures, for I do not know how long it will be until I visit this age again. Future Bridge. This must be the city or whatever they were in. Interesting. Okay. Very interesting. How long is this? It's pretty fucking long, actually. Fuck. Okay, let's go. It's been a while since I heard only silence, and I enjoy it greatly, I think. For some reason, I do not feel altogether welcome in this new world which I have arrived, but how could I be unwelcome in an age with no inhabitants? It is, of course, only in my head. The world is very beautiful, but I think I have yet to even write in a journal that but I think I have yet to ever write in a journal that an age I have linked to its horrid or disgusting. That I have linked to is horrid or disgusting. Okay, from the grassy hill where I am standing, I can see green fields below with this few scattered forest. A rather large lake looms some distance from where I am standing, yet the water's blue can be seen plainly from here. The air is fresh and the sky is sparkled with white clouds. It is absolutely breathtaking, and yet that strange feeling again, perhaps it's the hot breeze, continues to blow from the north, hotter than I would have imagined it, almost singes my skin, and I feel quite uncomfortable. When it comes. I will try to ignore it. Night has almost arrived. The sunset is spectacular. Oranges and reds have settled above the western horizon. Night has come. The horizon still glows red long past sunset. Dark reds flow from the horizon and blend into the black sky. Again the feeling, and I'm beginning to believe it's not all in my mind. I'm asleep now. I will need my strength to explore more tomorrow. I've had to return home due to unpredictable natural occurrence far more frightening than I have experienced. I was awakened by terrible shakings in the ground, explosions on all sides of me. Gigantic balls of fire were falling from the sky, and I immediately left in fear of my life. I must remember to bring a mist linking book with me when I return, in case the one left there had been destroyed or damaged. I returned to a different world than the one I left only 3 months ago. It had been transformed into a barren desert land with only gigantic craters scattered across the land to provide variety. Strangely enough, the small grassy hill where I spent my first night remains exactly the way I found it. Apparently the falling meteors did not hit this area, leaving an oasis in the midst of this horrible desolation. The hot wind I remember has turned into a rather pleasant breeze, which is at least one improvement. I fear it's the only improvement. The magnificent lake I saw on my first visit is completely dried up. However, another lake now exists and appears to be quite a bit larger. I assume one of the falling meteors created this lake due to the circular shape and the jutting rock that grows out of the center of the lake. And yeah, that would be the center where the rest of the world seems like desert, although I will verify that statement with closer inspection. Though this world has little visual excitement to offer, it offers much to the ears, sounds constantly flowing through my ears, and I have found where a few of them originate. It seems, as Catherine says, I do find beauty in everything. Last night I was awakened by a horrible hissing. I was sweating and the heat was so intense I immediately dipped my head into a nearby stream to cool it down. The hot breezes had returned along with the low roar from the ground. I walked a short distance to observe some red flame shooting up from the earth. Suddenly the ground began to crack and a huge chasm opened. The chasm continued to grow until it was far too wide to cross. Then the tumult subsided, leaving only a dull roar. I've decided, however, I can use the chasm to my advantage. Perhaps the heat from the chasm can be harnessed. Gotcha. So he's going to collect heat and put it through a tube with a fan to make heated air, I guess. I don't know. Even as the chasm has ripped into the surface of this world, it's opened up a whole new world to explore. Although uncomfortably hot, I found it possible to reach a cave in the chasm that had been created, and now I've explored deep into the crust of this planet. I found a vast underground cave system that will take many years to map and explore. I will always also look for a safer way to reach the underground than through the chasm wall. This age seems to change on its own, and I feel I should leave again to see if things are different when I return. It's also important that I check on Cirrus and Akanar and make sure everything is going along well. When I return, I hope to bring back some of the tools I will need for the plans to explore the underground. So I think this diary is what he was talking about in the other diary, I believe. The abundance of raw materials here is beginning to amaze me. I've returned with some of the complex tools I knew I would be needing. I assumed I would have to return for more basic materials. However, it seems though that I was able to find everything I will need here. Of course, iron is abundant, but I have also found titanium occurring naturally. I am all the more excited to begin work. Everything is set and I look forward to tomorrow. My raw materials are all here. I think I'll be able to have most of my additions to this age completed within 1 year. I so love working with my hands, whether writing or building. I began today on the bridge and that's done. Maybe I have to like reveal that or something. 3 meters is not enough support for the beam. Something about a weird, I would assume, compass. Amazingly strong. Yeah, this has to be like ink that you read with a black light or something. Some sort of ship. One of my most prized inventions. I'm extremely something. Could have never imagined to come together quite. Okay, I doubt. Could possibly work with 14 instead of 8. Completely fatigued. Something tomorrow. Okay, I am leaving today in order to bring Cirrus and Akanar. I've left them alone in Channelwood. Right, the Channelwood thing that we just read. I believe they will enjoy all there is to see here. The age seems to have stabilized, and I believe the meteors set off a period of volcanic activity by piercing into the shallow crust. But the tremors have become few. I've noticed that a large amount of this journal has curiously vanished from the very pages on which I wrote over the last 18 months. 18 months. It's like, what, a year and a half? Ish. Fortunately, I've copied many of my construction notes in another journal. I do not understand the mysteries of this world, but I trust I'll discover logical answers to my questions. I have a feeling that many of my questions can be answered in another age, to which I hope to travel soon, but for now I must simply accept the world's mysteries and take pride in my accomplishments. So here we have some sort of piano. Okay, so you got like C, F, D, E flat, F, C, E flat, B flat. C, F, C, E flat, B flat. I'm going to type it in here. C, F, C, E flat, B flat. There we go. Interesting. Okay, I guess that's where the comet hit the big lake. That's what he was talking about. Okay. It's interesting. This is the one. Oh my god, that was a lot. Now we have to read more. Oh wait, hold the fuck on. There's all kinds of shit in here. What is it? Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. I gotta do something real fast.